Have you ever pondered on the consequences of nuclear war and its potential impact on the world? Are nuclear weapons a necessary tool for ensuring peace, or are they a global threat that should be eliminated? Join us as we embark on a journey to explore these critical discussions and uncover the reality of nuclear war. Get ready to witness the unimaginable as we delve into this grim topic. A nuclear explosion would have catastrophic effects, instantly killing hundreds of thousands of people. Furthermore, the explosion would create a massive, extremely hot fireball composed of visible infrared and ultraviolet light waves. The fireball would be so hot that it could burn everything in its path and cause third-degree burns within an even larger radius than the blast damage. Today's nuclear weapons are far more advanced and powerful than those used during World War II, making the effects of a nuclear war even more devastating. The consequences of a nuclear war would be felt worldwide and could cause unimaginable destruction beyond the borders of any single nation. Recently, Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a warning to those who obstruct military actions in Ukraine that they will face consequences never experienced in history. The prospect of a nuclear conflict has put the world on high alert and takes us back to the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis in the 1960s. Despite disarmament efforts, Russia has continued to develop its nuclear technology and currently holds the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, with close to 6,000 warheads, representing almost half of all existing nuclear weapons worldwide. Since the first nuclear bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, nuclear technology has undergone significant evolution, becoming more complex and diverse. The development of various weapons allows for both large-scale and targeted attacks, with longer ranges and greater destructive force. The atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 weighed about 4,500 kilograms and killed over 100,000 people. However, significant strides have been made in miniaturizing the technology, and today's nuclear weapons are more compact and usually weigh just a few hundred kilos. Despite their small size, they have the potential to kill millions of people, making it possible to launch atomic attacks using a variety of means, including ballistic and cruise missiles capable of reaching every corner of the globe. Moreover, today's nuclear weapons are much smaller, lighter, and easier to deliver than they used to be, and their explosive power is much greater. Some of the nuclear weapons in Russia's arsenal today are more than 50 times more powerful than those dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Russia possesses a diverse atomic arsenal, which allows it to launch attacks using land, sea, and air delivery platforms. This is known as the nuclear triad, and it is also the prerogative of the United States and China. Ballistic or cruise missiles are used for land-based weapons, some of which have an intercontinental range capable of reaching distant targets such as the United States and China. Others have shorter ranges and are aimed at the European continent. Sea-launched missiles, on the other hand, are launched from submarines that are difficult to locate, as they may be hidden underwater anywhere around the globe. Heavier bombs are still transported by air in strategic bombers that fly long distances. The advantage of the triad is that it provides greater deterrence as well as superior strategic capability and flexibility. These dispersed platforms also make an arsenal more survivable or more difficult to destroy in a war. Typically, strategic nuclear weapons are aimed at metropolitan areas. However, they can also be deployed to take out significant military assets, such as bases and naval groups. On the other hand, tactical or non-strategic weapons are low-yield weapons developed to balance the scale of a conflict on the battlefield. Russia reportedly has about 1,900 tactical nuclear weapons in its arsenal. Now, let's look at conflict scenarios that are possible today. As we all know, nuclear weapons can cause catastrophic damage, and any escalation of conflict involving their use poses an unprecedented threat to humanity. In the event of a Russian attack on Ukraine, the type of nuclear weapon used would be a key factor in determining the severity of the attack. If Russia were to use strategic nuclear weapons such as those designed to target cities, it could be interpreted as a direct attack on NATO, risking the activation of the alliance's deterrence forces. Instead, Russia is more likely to use tactical or non-strategic nuclear weapons, which are low-yield and designed to be used on the battlefield to gain a tactical advantage. This would allow the Russian army to destroy militarily strategic points in Ukraine, such as airfields, or send a strong political message to the Ukrainian government by mounting warheads directly on missiles already deployed in the conflict. Apart from premeditated attacks, the risk of accidents must also be taken into consideration, which increases during the transport of nuclear warheads or in the event of fighting near nuclear power plants. For instance, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant located in Ukraine was recently damaged by shelling from the Russian army before they took control of it. This act poses a serious threat to the security of the whole of Europe. Nuclear tensions and weapons on high alert also increase the risk of misperception and the escalation of conflict. Well, you may be wondering what kind of damage could today's nuclear weapons cause? Nuclear weapons that we have in this day and time are more sophisticated and powerful than those used in the past, and even a small deployment could have devastating long-term consequences. If Russia were to use its entire atomic arsenal, it would render parts of the world inhabitable and fundamentally alter life as we know it. The atmospheric overpressure caused by the shock wave of a nuclear explosion can destroy entire buildings tens of kilometers away, except for those made of hardened reinforced concrete. The explosion would also create a large hot fireball capable of burning everything and causing third-degree burns within a much larger radius than the blast damage. The fallout from the explosion would contaminate populations, leading to tumors and birth defects. The possibility of nuclear conflict remains a constant threat in the current global climate, and all nations need to work toward disarmament and peaceful solutions to conflicts. The consequences of nuclear war are too devastating to contemplate, and the world must continue to strive toward a future free of nuclear weapons. The consequences of a nuclear attack would be catastrophic, not just for the immediate area but for the entire world. The explosion would cause a massive blast wave that could level buildings and infrastructure, and the heat would be so intense that it would cause severe burns to anyone within miles of the blast. The radiation released would also be deadly and long-lasting, causing widespread illness and death for years to come. A nuclear attack would have significant geopolitical implications, not just for the countries involved but for the entire world. It could trigger a global conflict that could escalate into a full-blown war between nuclear-armed nations. The use of nuclear weapons could also cause a breakdown in international relations and lead to a loss of trust between nations. It could also spark a wave of nuclear proliferation as other countries seek to acquire nuclear weapons as a deterrent. Now, preventing a nuclear attack is important, and several measures can be taken to reduce the risk. Diplomatic efforts could be made to reduce tensions between nuclear-armed nations, and international agreements should be put in place to limit the production and use of nuclear weapons. Additionally, efforts can be made to secure nuclear weapons and prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Improved intelligence and surveillance can also help to detect and prevent nuclear attacks before they occur. What are your thoughts on the potential consequences of a nuclear war? How do you think we can best prevent such an event from occurring? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content on important global issues. Thank you for watching.